This is a demonstration of the Patcha EXR metadata extractor for equalizer. So recently, the Alexa cameras have started to include a large amount of very useful metadata for focal length, camera type, lens serial number. So to use this tool, you click right here, Patcha EXR metadata extractor, and this is a tool. So lots of data in here. And so of course there's a filter. If you type in camera, you can see what type of camera you have in there. This is an Alexa. You can filter for lens. Here we can see that we've got a Zeiss 35mm lens. If we want to see the focal length, we can put a filter of focal, and there is this 35mm. So on this particular example, it's not animated, but we'll bring it in and pretend that it is. So what we'll do is we'll click right here, and we'll bring up the curve editor, and then we'll show the curve. So you have to select an attribute here because this curve editor is only going to load in one curve at a time. So it's going to take a minute because it's going to go through the entire EXR frame range. And now this is static at 35mm. So this is coming properly. Now if we want to write it to the focal length here, we write to current curve, and there it's written. Now notice is that it's 10 times too large because equalizer's curve editor is always in centimeters, but this particular data is in millimeters. So for this, to make it correct, we'll go to transfer curves and we'll type in 0.1, and that'll convert it from, because it's 10 times too big, from millimeters to centimeters. And now that's correct. So now we'll go with another example where we're going to look at focus. Also notice that during your session it'll remember this setting here. So here we're going to put in focus instead. And we see that at this particular frame it's 90 inches. Now this will later have to be converted to centimeters. So again, we're going to go to the curve editor. And you have to hit the show curve button. And it'll take a moment to read in all the EXR frames. Even if you did a decompress, you still have to do this. So now we've got a curve. Right here you notice there's a frame delay log. In the Alexa camera, there's almost always a 1 frame latency and delay log. So this setting here is set to default to 1 because that's the most common camera that we're using and getting useful metadata from. So when it writes to the equalizer curve editor here, it'll be offset. So it only does 1 curve at a time. And we're going to tell it to go to the focus curve. And we write it. And so there's a curve. Now the only problem with this thing here is that we see that this was in inches, but equalizer once again is expecting centimeters. So this says 90, so that's the wrong units. So the particular unit, if you go to the Google converter, if you put in inches, 1 inch equals 2.5 centimeters, and you can look at all the different conversions. There's too many to go over now. But this will be a major conversion. There's conversion from centimeters to feet. And if we go the opposite direction here, 30.48. So anyway, you will have to do conversions on these. So we go right here. This particular one is 2.54, which will take these centimeters, the inches, and convert them to centimeters. Now the curve's set.